Let's go.
Bingetown, how we feeling tonight? It's your boy Dave here with Kyle and longtime friend of the pod, Alki. We are back again here to bring you anime content with Attack on Titan, episode 78, Two Brothers. This is going to take some getting used to because we are now looking at a single camera.
This is fun.
This is my room, by the way. This is Dave's room. We got the lacrosse photo here, the One Piece. So thought we'd introduce you to the setup. Kyle here is an anime only watcher. Alki and I have finished the manga. This will be a no manga spoiler coverage of just the anime.
Yes.
Let's just get right into it with what were the overall thoughts of the episode, starting with our rookie here, Kyle.
I feel like I was trying to remind myself to breathe for like a lot of the episode. We talked about it when we just watched, and I couldn't believe the halfway point was the halfway point. Like Gabi shooting Eren felt like the end of the episode, and then there were still 12 more minutes. And we'll get to the ratings at the end, but this was definitely the best episode of season 4 and one of the best episodes probably of the series.
On the last episode of the podcast, I had foreshadowed that Eren getting his head blown off would be what I hinted at was I thought that was going to be the end of the episode. And Kyle even looked at us when there was when he got his head shot off, and he was like, dude, I can't believe that was just a crazy episode. I was like, we're only halfway. Like, it rolled the mid-credit scene.
It's ridiculous.
Alki, what were your thoughts?
I thought that based on the pacing of episode 2, I thought that the episode would end on Zeke awakening all the Titans who have drinking the spinal fluid.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised to see that happen like 1 quarter through the episode.
Yeah, that was pretty early.
I think it's really cool the differences between the anime and the manga, because I'm pretty sure in the manga a chapter ended with Eren's head getting blown off.
It
right?
did.
That was
Yeah,
like the last panel of a chapter. And like I've said before, chapters don't come out for a month. So you're waiting for a month. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
So it was pretty sweet. We got spoiled. Like I was telling Dave after we just watched it like 20 minutes ago. That was like 5 chapters, I think, something like that in the whole episode. So it was great. I was really happy with the way it went. The first half was so quick. Kyle said, actually, the first half felt like so much, and then the second half with everything that happened and it went by so quick.
Yeah.
So it was a good episode, great episode, best episode by far in this little part 2, arguably maybe the whole season.
Yeah. I'm going to agree on that take as well. This was by far the best episode, at least of these 3 episodes. Could even be the best of all of the season 4 so far. Crazy episode. I will say though that I think because of how it felt reading it, and with last episode being a lot of just build up for this episode, that's why they were able to get the Titan scream off just within the first quarter of the episode.
That's true. Yeah.
But let's get into it again. So we open with Galliard just again taking massive L's to Eren, just getting wrecked, and Magath luckily saves him with his impeccable shooting, which I got to give him credit to. That he barely missed Zeke's nape, and now he's like sniping Eren in the exact ways he wanted him to, like through the head, blasts off his arm, and manages to save him from Galliard. But Galliard is literally like, we see him in the nape too. He's missing a piece of his face, so he's just in the worst shape.
Eren absolutely beats the shit out of him. I was crazy. That was like, holy fuck, this episode is already off to like an amazingly hot start. And Eren's just a fucking beast. I remember season 1 and he the worst almost. I like when I was watching this episode, I remember thinking back to watching season 1 and being like, but the main character is so annoying. Like the show's good, but the main character is so annoying.
Yeah.
And then now to see where he's at, where he was just absolutely giving Galliard the business. It's like it feels great to watch. I loved it.
I think Galliard's getting absolutely manhandled every moment he's on the screen. It's ironic because he keeps talking about how he's like better than Reiner or whatever, and he gets fucking worked every moment. So
now he's getting a taste. Funny. Like he's looking down on Reiner this whole time. Like, you didn't like finish the mission, you didn't do a good job of it, yada yada yada. You're never as good as me. And like now he's getting a taste of what Reiner had to deal with. And like to him, I hope he's having this realization. It's just like, you're not the best one out there.
He
far.
totally didn't. The last thing he said before he died was
Yeah.
that I'm better than you, Reiner.
It totally
basically.
wasn't. Yeah, it
It's like,
totally
what
wasn't.
the fuck, bro? It's like Reiner's the only one that's really given Eren, I feel like, a fight. I mean, him and Annie had a good fight, but that was when Eren was back in the beginning of his powers, while Annie was like a trained Titan soldier almost. But him and Reiner have good fights. Reiner's a fucking beast.
I think if you put
Reiner's a beast.
if you put Annie against Eren right now, like Eren just
Oh,
even
yeah.
pre Warhammer Titan, I think Eren
Dude,
still
pulverizer.
Yeah, I think that's just crazy and how strong
He's
grown.
only used the Warhammer as a last resort.
Yeah, it really has been.
Thing when he's like back in the corner. So most of his combat that we've seen has been just
The
pure
hardening.
pure fighting
Yeah.
and with the upgraded hardening, which is cool.
He just gives everyone the hands.
It's
It's really
hockey.
funny.
It's basically hockey.
Kind of,
Oh,
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, while that's going on, Armin and not the scouts, who is it? It's the ones with roses on the back, whatever that
The
regiment.
garrison.
Yeah, the garrison decides to sneak attack the enemy, but from behind. Alki at this moment in time was like, "This is so stupid," and
I remember
Eren
saying out loud, I was like, "Why? What do you mean? This feels smart to me."
and
But-
even Armin on screen is agreeing with us. And so they decide to flank.
True, because everybody thinks Zeke's dead. Or
Yeah.
like Zeke's
yeah,
down.
like everything is over for them.
Yeah.
Like, let's just capture him and whatever. But
yeah.
in the meantime, Reiner touches Galliard and has flashbacks of his brother protecting him and Reiner being sent to the island, all of that stuff, which kind of touches Galliard, obviously, because he realizes that his brother, his older brother who had died on the island, made a sacrifice for him. Like, he didn't want to be in this exact position that he's in right now. And he's having a heartfelt moment, which is cool for Galliard. I mean, it was a cool scene for him. Like, he's not a great character, but I thought it was a nice moment.
Yeah.
And honestly, two brothers, name of the episode, obviously Zeke, Eren, and then Colt and Falco. But I did not expect this. This was, I guess, technically, someone might have said it while we watched, but three brothers.
Yeah, it could have been a
Dave,
three brother.
Dave said that, and I didn't. When I saw the title of the episode, I immediately thought Eren and Zeke and Colt and what's his name, Falco.
Yeah.
But then, when they did the whole little memory connection of Galliard and Marco, right?
Mhm.
That's when I was like, no, it's not. What was his name? What's Galliard?
Oh, Galliard and
It's something with an M.
yeah, I can't remember.
Well, his name is like Portco, also, right? They call him
Porco.
Porco Galliard is his name, I
Oh,
think.
okay, I
Um,
forgot that, but he just, I mean, he just gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean, this was
That's
due-
kind of like that's how I'll always remember him.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this was the trajectory. I mean, based on how his previous fights with Eren were going, this is bound to happen at some
Yeah.
point. What eventually happens to him.
And supposedly he's supposed to have awakened the Jaw Titan to a further extent versus Ymir.
Yeah,
And you see that by that armored jaw that he has.
Just
And it
doesn't-
it didn't come to fruition at all
Yeah,
for
that's
us
a
as
really-
the audience.
that's a cool concept.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
like, I think it's obviously weaker. It's obviously weaker than Eren's hardening and Reiner's already shell. But like, I think obviously it would take a lot of hits, but it just so happens that Eren is the perfect counter for him.
But
basically.
it did show us in the beginning of season 4 in the Marley raid that the
Yes.
jaw can break the Warhammer hardening shit.
Mhm.
So that was a good detail. That's what
Yeah.
he used to capture the Warhammer.
I think he has a cool Titan, and like the way that he could fight with like like how elusive he is, and then the biting is like interesting, but he just Eren's just a savage.
I kind of like how they had Falco eat him. I know I'm probably jumping ahead of your
No, that's fine.
schedule, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was a
That
great.
was just like moment after moment of, oh my god, this is happening. Oh my god, this is happening. Oh my god, this is about to happen. That
I
was
know,
just,
and it
like,
was only
ridiculous.
half an episode.
Yeah,
like
it
we
was
said. Yeah.
ridiculous.
And then this is where we get the name of the episode. We get Colt and Falco arriving on the scene just as Zeke is about to scream and unleash all the Titans onto both Marlians and Eldians on the island. It's a really touching moment from Colt because he's talking to Zeke and he's like, "You're the only one one of the only people in the world that can understand the bond between two brothers." And Zeke does say, "Yes, like I do understand that," but his purpose to him is so much more greater than that. It's a shame is what he says, and he just unleashes a scream, and everybody in the fucking world just became Titans. Basically,
Yeah.
It was so wild.
So cold-blooded, man. When he goes, "It's a shame," or "That's a shame," we were all like, "Oh my god!"
I laughed. I
Yeah.
laughed because I said it in our last recording. I was like,
Yeah, he don't.
This
care.
is not gonna fucking matter. He does not gonna care that. This
I
kid
honestly,
has it.
I agreed with you when we talked about it, but in the moment watching,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was questioning, like, oh shit, like what is he gonna do? Right
I mean,
here?
Colt brought up some great points. He was hitting home. Like he even said, he was like, I don't understand you. I've never understood you. And even right now, what you're doing, I don't understand, but plead with me on this case of like, I have a brother
Yeah.
and you know what that feels like. And it just doesn't work for him. He's so much more committed to the euthanization of Eldians that he screams and Falco becomes the penis titan.
Is that what people say?
No,
That's what
no,
Dave
that's
said.
that's what just
You
came
heard
out.
it here, bro.
That's funny.
But
Yeah,
no,
he
also
has a weird look.
and also at the same time we see Pixis, all of the MPs zoom out of the entire. I don't even know where they are. Seen like Wall Maria, like
Pix is getting one last sip.
yeah,
And for his death, savage, by the way.
yeah. He gets one last sip. Like he even says right before, like his last line before that was, "I should probably stop drinking."
Yeah.
And he's drinking.
I wanted to touch on one thing. I think in the manga, when I read it and Colt pleaded to Zeke, they did a good job of showing Zeke clearly distraught by these news that Falco had drinking the wine or had
sucked that it happened.
it sucked that it happened, but you know, I just thought it was cool. You see that little bit of humanity of Zeke, because even though he's clearly psycho, he does love those kids. He loves Falco. Even when he was captured with Levi, he's like, "Oh, can I show Gabi and Falco these woods? Like, they'd really like this." And I think it's just a good way to show that everybody has a distorted sense of humanity in this world.
Yeah.
You know, and we're really seeing that right now. And you've obviously been seeing with Reiner a great deal. I wish we were seeing more emotion out of Aaron.
Yeah.
Because I think while he was annoying in like the first part of the anime when we first got introduced to him, it's also what made him a great character was his passion for eliminating all the Titans. And it wasn't until the second half of this episode where you get any glimpse of his true feelings.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I do miss just some of that raw emotion out of him. I understand why. He's got like PTSD times 50,000.
As you say that,
crazy.
As you say that, it reminded me. There is a small part in this episode though that right before Zeke screams and right before Colt shows up with Falco, Aaron's telling him to stop because he does realize the implications of like Pixis will literally be dead if he does this, and he doesn't want. I'm sure he doesn't care.
I remember feeling that way too.
I'm sure he even has thoughts of it for Falco too. Like with that news for him, like that's crazy for him because he liked Falco. He had a real bond with him in Marley.
Yeah.
Gabi also gets a glimpse of Falco getting changed and she starts to cry.
Now that I'm thinking about it, he has like that super long neck. Like, do even regular Titans, can they impact what they look like as a Titan?
That's something that I've been wondering too.
Yeah.
It's like, because, you know, Bertolt was like 6'5", I'm pretty sure. And he was obviously the colossal Titan, blah, blah, blah. Armin is obviously significantly shorter than Bertolt. Does that mean the colossal Titan kind of shrinks to Armin's level of height in that, or are they going to still be that same height?
It's funny that Falco would make his neck long.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't get why.
No one else looked like that.
I've never seen it. That was the most bizarre looking Titan.
Yeah, he is always putting his neck out there though.
Maybe I don't know.
You think he thinks that's
that was
He's like, yeah, dude,
maybe he gives great.
Neck.
Maybe it's an innuendo that he gives great neck. Anyway,
yeah, that's why Gabi's so pissed.
Yeah, Gabi,
she was robbed of that.
I think we've seen like a lot of abnormals get spawned by Zeke. I wonder if he's responsible, if he can control that, you know?
And also something I feel like something I've been picking up is the more like quote unquote fresher Titans are more lively. Like when the moment Zeke transformed the town of Connie's parents like into Titans, like they were active during the night. Like they were all kind of aberrants almost. Like
that's what I mean.
I don't have an actual answer. That's just what I've kind of noticed is that the more fresh you turn into a Titan, the more energy you have. So.
I never even realized during my reading that he like it's very visible in the anime that they're nuts. Zeke's Titans are nuts.
Fucking
that wasn't
wild.
very obvious in the manga. I felt.
Yeah.
I would be shitting bricks if I saw that running at me. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, and then so here we get Reiner's kind of in this. Oh, we also see a shot of Colt rest in peace. That man is burned. He got the Armin treatment right there.
Yeah, he did.
He got the Armin treatment.
I don't know why he would hug him.
He's like,
Wouldn't
don't
he
worry, don't worry.
Wouldn't
I
he
got
do
this.
more? Wouldn't he be more? Wouldn't he hold more value if he ran away and maybe tried to like I don't know, do something? Whatever.
It's just caught in the moment, I guess.
It's his brother. I would be upset.
Colt
too.
is definitely dead in this moment for sure. Reiner's kind of caught in this pickle because now he has to work between fighting Eren and also the Titan form of Colt. And he's kind of, he makes a decision in his mind that he has to be the one to kill Falco, which is such a burden on Reiner because I love how the anime is treating Reiner. Like I just feel for the guy so much more than I did in the manga. Again, maybe it's because it's week to week. It's all coming out more quickly, but my attachment to Reiner now is just so much greater. And I just can't get over the fact that like he had that thought of killing Falco. And I was like, damn, this man is just being put through it. Like if he wasn't already suicidal enough, like this is the moment that
before the time skip, I was like, fuck Reiner and
I agree.
fuck Bertold, fuck Annie. Now I'm like, damn, this guy has gone through it. I mean, they're so brainwashed. It's so sad. It really is so sad.
Reiner's life is just unbelievably difficult and sad.
Mhm.
Like he had like making that decision between like he has to stop Eren, but like Eren's also his friend.
Yeah.
So it's not even like it's like pure enemy versus like a friend with Falco. Like it's a friend and a friend kind of in a way.
No, yeah, because I
And
think
that's
Eren
just, like-
still Eren loves Reiner too.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, he's
just
obviously been
fucked up.
pissed for years, but I think that Eren has. I think it can be inferred that he has similar feelings.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
not as suicidal as Reiner is.
no,
I think
Eren
Reiner's
has
just
way
broken
more of a
down.
purpose.
Yeah.
Reiner just like feel like he just kind of drifts from
He's being
assignment to
torn.
assignment.
He's being
yeah.
torn.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where Reiner kind of focuses on Eren for a second, which allows Falco's Titan form to kind of attack him from the back to his nape a little bit. He starts chewing into it a little bit, and Reiner's looking at him, and then as he's looking at Falco, Eren's kind of kicking him in the face, to which General Magath shoots another bullet. And
I'm sorry, that's like the 80th time we've messed up his title. But the best part is that they do it in the show.
Yeah,
too. That's so great, dude. He and Peak and those squad have been absolutely just stuffing the stat sheet in this fight.
I like
They have
Magath.
done so much by just standing on the walls and fucking shit up.
Mhm.
I was shocked.
I respect Magath. I can't say I like him because he's still like a racist to his core. Like he still hates
Well, I'm just saying I like his character.
I agree. Like this scene is making me appreciate him more. And I agree with Peak too. Like I really like how Peak is just so versatile here. And so Magath takes a shot, it blows off Eren's arm and kind of pins him in the brain a little bit.
Nah,
So-
this is he shoots Zeke here the second time.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. He
Yeah,
shoots Zeke the second time. And to kind of confirm that he confirms that he's killed. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's over. Reiner's like, oh my God, it's over.
Yeah, yeah.
We know that's
what
not
Reiner's
over.
about to let Falco kill him because he's like, finally.
Yeah, at that point in time, he's
It's
just
a
like,
sweet release of death.
Death by cop.
Yeah, dude. That's kind of what happened.
Yeah, I know.
but his relief isn't long lasting.
Susan.
Yeah, it isn't long lasting. So Falco releases off his nape a little bit and starts running behind him, and he notices that Galliard is released from his Titan form and is standing there with his face half eaten or shot off, and he's kind of talking to himself a little bit. He's reminiscing of his brother and just saying that he just really appreciated. It seems like he just had appreciation for his life, and I guess he really he had some regrets, it seemed like, in his moment. Like he understands where his brother was coming from, but this is just the circle of life. In Attack on Titan, you have the duty to just get eaten if you need to, and this was his duty.
If you have the power,
and if you see the opportunity to which one of your loved ones is a helpless Titan, you can just make this decision.
Yeah, that's actually a crazy thought that they can do that.
This is the circle of life. Is just being
that's
eaten.
crazy.
I mean, that's what Eren's dad did.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's also just he was also getting that one last shot, and I feel like he kind of died almost with like a smile on his face, where he could tell Reiner like, "I saved you, you motherfucker! Like I'm better than you are."
Mm-hmm. I think also, even though he said those words, I think that after that little mind connect, I think he understands Reiner a little
that's a good
more,
point.
probably.
Yeah, they only really show the memories that impact Galliard. They don't really show what he is feeling off of
because he does say that backhanded thing, but he's kind of just saying like
he's fucking
it's
with his
fine,
boy.
like you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean we fuck around.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then he had those bold last words saying, "I always was better than you," which is just not true. And so Galliard is eaten by Falco. We don't see it, but Falco has now become the Jaw Titan.
The fact that is like such a background thing to everything that happened is
you don't even think about it. Like it's
like I completely almost forgot about that until you just said it.
Yeah, that he turned into.
Yeah, like I remember he ate Galliard, but wasn't in the moment considering the repercussions that he was now the Jaw Titan.
Right.
I was so focused on the fact that Zeke has been shot twice, like Aaron's escaping from Reiner, like all that shit was.
Well,
happening.
that's funny you say that because while I was reading the manga, I always say those few words, but while I was reading. Obviously, he gets eaten, and later on, you're gonna figure out that Falco is the Jaw Titan, right? Like, I didn't remember how he got it. It was so long between chapters where I'm just like, oh, he's the Jaw Titan, and then like at the end, I'm like, oh, he's a Jaw Titan, and it wasn't until the rewatch that I connected the dots. I'm like, oh yeah, this is how he becomes the Jaw Titan.
I would have never guessed
because there's so much going on. Where that's such a big piece of information. Like imagine if something like that happened in season 1.
If that happened last episode too, like that would have been a big moment. Would have been like, whoa, that episode was crazy.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been glossed over. Yeah,
but now it's like 10th.
And so also going into him becoming the Jaw Titan, like it's interesting because Falco wanted to become the Armored Titan over Gabi. So it's just interesting that Galliard stepped in there just because it could have even brought it a little bit more of a deeper meaning behind him eating Reiner here. But obviously this means that Reiner still has a part to play left in all of this. That's why that's why the author chose to save him here, I think. But it would have been I think in the moment, it would have been a better coming
very poetic.
Yeah, it would have been very poetic in this moment. But obviously there's still some gas left in Reiner.
I feel like the author does not give a fuck about poetic.
No, he's just like
your feelings with everyone. Yeah,
your feelings crumble. Throw them in the fucking trash. You're just gonna. Everyone's dead.
I'm definitely picking that vibe up.
Yeah,
me an empath, sensing that he fucking hates us.
In a fit of rage, Reiner tries to attack Eren, but Eren was totally ready for it and just captures him with his hardening ability. Escapes out of his hardening ability, so Reiner is still stuck there and continues to run to Zeke, who we find out is not dead. Obviously, that wasn't even a shot.
That was poetic, actually, that he used Peak's move to like fake being dead.
That
was actually poetic. So look at that. We make a statement and we debunk ourselves a minute later.
Yep. Reiner is almost about to capture Eren with his arm, but Squad shows up. We get I think it's Armin and Jean who are the ones who fire the Thunder Spear to stop the arm from capturing Eren.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Yeah.
No, it's
Connie.
It's Jean and Connie.
Jean and Connie.
Yeah.
And so, all right, this is where things get really crazy. So Eren is running to Zeke, and we get all these crazy shots of what everyone's doing. Like Armin looks like he's about to be eaten by Peak, and Mikasa's fucking slaying dudes on the walls and everything. And then out of nowhere, we get a shot of Gabi, who is holding an anti-Titan cannon rifle. And Eren looks over and Gabi starts to cry and pulls the trigger and just blows Eren's head off.
My heart's like racing as you start saying those words. Like that was like fucking insane. I did not think that Gabi was going to come back and like make that big of an impact. And that's like the biggest impact you could possibly make in the story is to kill Eren Yeager. And the fact that
she's like the LVP, least valuable player.
She's oh my god, man. He is like a little sadistic, making us just hate this chick. Like
I know it's just like a little girl.
She's literally a little girl, brainwashed. Like feel bad for her, but fuck her. It's like so crazy.
This is where I
when they did the slideshow stuff, kind of like everyone like in that moment, like what they were doing, and then just the sound of the rifle and the shot of his head like twirling in the air was like unbelievable. Like my mouth was open, like. I can't imagine another series showing me that visual of the main character's head like spinning in the air like that. Like that was unbelievable.
Definitely the best moment of the 3 episodes we've gotten. I just couldn't. This is really where I thought the episode was going to end. I just couldn't believe that we were only halfway through the episode when we got here.
When it showed that like halfway through point, I was like, what? Because I remember seeing his head getting shot off, and I'm like, wait, so like how far are we? Like I thought we were like, I thought it was done. I really did.
Because I had been holding my breath for the past 10 fucking minutes. Like it felt like an eternity had passed at that point. My heart was fucking racing.
We get the couple shots of Zeke's reaction too, and he is like, he just watched his plan literally blow up in his face.
Yeah.
Like to him, it was all over. However, yeah, we get that last
Let him know.
second shot of him catching Aaron's head. And all those really felt like those shots really felt like the manga in itself. It was just like panel to panel, just no words.
That was
like
cool. That's a good point. Yeah.
So I really like those shots. They were really well, like just the HD, like high definition, just CGI.
I also remember thinking with the Mikasa one that it looked amazing. Both the one where before he gets shot and that one, the one where it's just her face was great art. Like the shading or like the line weight was like amazing, and then the one where it was like the slideshow of her like moving as a still picture, that looked great.
I love when you can like when it's zooming in through the town, like it just gives you a perspective.
We mentioned it when we were watching the episode, but like the show itself, it happens in so much 3D. Like the 3D maneuver gear is like the whole thing. That was one of the craziest things of season 1 was how like how they were fucking flying around everywhere. And I don't remember like another time we've gotten like the 3D like this, because I feel like Levi's chase was that when him and Kenny. When Levi and that was amazing.
That was dope.
Yeah, but that wasn't like fully 3D. I thought this was kind of cool that they gave us a little 3D. Actually.
Not the same scene, but Mikasa did have some badass. She had a badass moment with the sweet swordsmanship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she like did a reverse. Like she was like going backwards but forward slash these dudes. Like it was so sick.
Chop their heads off. At first, I thought she was gonna like deflect bullets, and I was like, come
on.
Don't do that. But she didn't. She just maneuvered.
So we get to the halfway point, and then we get a quick flashback to a scene we already partly saw. They give us a full clip of it here.
Yeah.
But it's of Zeke and Aaron talking about the euthanasia plan. And how Aaron's saying here that the royal family needed to be eaten, which is very interesting because when he was being saved by Historia, when he's in that moment, he's like, they didn't need to die, all that stuff. But in this moment, he's admitting like there is no greater salvation than never being born. So now he's on the spectrum of their death kind of helped the cause now. Like I mean,
he did say that we wouldn't be here if they didn't die.
Yeah.
So he's just, he's obviously, we learn in this episode, he's playing Zeke.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fucking believable.
And it's funny we get it here too. Also, when Zeke's like, Aaron, like I can't shake your hand, but catch the ball, and he just doesn't catch it.
Yeah. Oh,
that's him. Literally, that's him. Literally, like not saying, agreeing.
Like, he's him saying, plan. "Fuck you," right?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck your plan.
And that's what I thought too.
And that's why Zeke was able to triple cross him, because in that moment he was like, Aaron just totally discarded my token of gratitude. I can tell he doesn't agree with me. Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
And
now.
that's why he
nice.
had that like shocked look on his face of when Aaron was picking up the ball, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I've been sluggish because of the hospital," but like that was all bullshit. Like,
wow, okay, I didn't realize they were posturing at that point.
It's like him spitting in his hand and like shaking his hand.
And then Zeke catches him this time to show him that he always has his back.
Yeah.
So that's
and
why
in one twisted way.
That's why I like the full picture of him dropping the ball, because they show earlier him throwing it to him, but we don't see him actually accepting and catching the toss. And
true,
I just like that Aaron line where it said the only salvation in this world is to never be born.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that someone gets to a point where they need to think that, but that line's kind of hard.
It was. I mean, for his purpose and everything, it fits his character. Like it's the perfect quote for his character in this moment.
I mean, I think that line is uncharacteristic of Aaron, if you ask me, because he even says it. He proves it later on with his conversation with Zeke. He loves life so much. That's why he has this much drive to do all this.
I think he's talking more about himself in this moment. Like
also,
he feels like
he be wrapped up in this.
I feel like
cycle
he
of Titan shit.
Yeah, like I feel like
wants his fucking mom back. Like he just, the only salvation would be like he is going through all of this bullshit. He didn't need to do all that.
True, I guess he's just because he feels so strongly and has all these goals, it doesn't mean he's happy to be alive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was been forced to do this almost.
I don't think he feels that way about his friends. I just think he was saying that from his perspective. Like and he's always said that too. He's like, I wish I never. True, not like not that I wish I've never been born, but something along those lines. Like,
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah, he's always kind of rebelled against like the whole like the nature of the world that he was born into.
That's true. That's why he wanted to get beyond the walls. That's why he joined the Survey Corps and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm. And here we get Zeke actually holding Aaron's head, and then we get the crossover of memories between Aaron and it seems Zeke's memories, which in the moment is just a trippy, like it's just like a mushroom trip. You have no idea what's going on.
What do you know with that? How do you know what that's like?
Very familiar.
I've seen videos. Yeah,
I've seen videos. And
that was good.
So, and then we see Aaron at this sandy place. We see the convergence, which we find out that Zeke tells him, who was chained down to the ground, by the way, which is the coordinate. This is the coordinate. I'm
curious. So it's definitely possible that I've like taken some time between watching seasons and stuff, and I asked this almost in the first episode. Should we know like more about what or is that just supposed to be some wild concept?
No, I think this is the introduction. I think this is the first concrete introduction.
Because we've definitely heard the word the coordinate before.
Yeah, well, see, they called Aaron the coordinate in
Aaron
season
has the
1 and
ability
2.
of coordinate, like
because he can call the Titans. Is that what the calling the Titans is?
It's directly related to that. So what I'll say, I don't really think this is like a spoiler.
Honestly, I would probably rather just get into it by watching it, and then we can come back to this conversation and then kind of explain it that way.
No, but I think
I'm okay with being completely in the dark about it.
I don't think it has been fully. It hasn't. They haven't dived into it.
Yeah, I'm really curious about the concept of the paths. Everyone's paths converge into one point, which is the coordinate.
Hey, maybe someone from the audience can leave in the comments and tell us, clear some things up for us.
Yeah, do you think we should tell Kyle what this is?
I'm just curious. When it gets into the sense of like destiny and like free will, because they talked about it a little bit with Mikasa. How does she have free will? And if it's like everyone's paths are predetermined, meeting at this one point, that's me, just stream of consciousness.
Basically, that's the coordinate. Aaron, it's deeply tied to the Eldians, and that Aaron has the ability to basically control that coordinate, which
that's a good. He can move it around.
Yeah,
he impacts the world so much that the coordinate changes. Put it on the board.
Okay, it's an interesting take. You're not. I can't say much. I just you're not wrong, but you're not right. Like
that's like me when listening to you guys talk about Wheel of Time.
Yeah,
where like you just kind of say some interesting stuff, and I'm like, I wish I could comment on that, but I can't.
All right. So they're at this staring contest part right now, but a third party is introduced, and we find out that it is the founder Ymir. She has appeared in this like childish form. She doesn't really have a personality. It seems like she's just this like enigma that's walking towards them.
She reminded me like a zombie.
Yeah, she was a zombie. Like she didn't really have eyes, to be honest.
She was just very like downcast eyes, like shadow casting over them, just kind of slowly, mechanically moving along. Like there's not, she's not thinking about anything.
Zeke tells Aaron that they have reached the founding Titan, and it's time to put their plan it's time to complete their plan. Rather, he tells Aaron to tell Ymir that he needs that the euthanasia plan should. I can't pronounce that word right now.
Yeah,
euthanasia.
Yeah, he basically tells Aaron to tell her.
Yeah, euthanasia.
He tells Aaron to tell her to make all the Eldians sterile so that they can't have kids.
Correct.
And Aaron's fuck them.
Well, honestly, it seems we've had this conversation too of like the euthanasia.
Now I've got you stumbling.
Is like a somewhat of a mistranslation.
It's just sterilization.
Yeah,
it should be the better term. Before we get into the first double cross, I want to talk about the conversation that Zeke is having with Aaron while he's chained up. Because I guess didn't pay attention too great to the sentences that he was saying, but essentially the chains were the royal blood. What he's telling Aaron is that the chains that were holding him down was essentially the royal blood chains, and that he can't talk to Ymir because of the royal blood in him, or like
because King Fritz's original
because of his ideals, and those are what are changing.
There was not non-aggression, but like the anti-war,
just totally
renouncing war vow. It was the renouncing war vow, is what it was.
Okay. Renouncing. That's what he claimed.
Right. That's what he claimed at first, and so Aaron. This is where we get the double cross. It's so ridiculous. He gets the double cross, and Aaron tells him, "Fuck your plan. Why would I ever have agreed to that?" And Zeke's
proves Armin right.
See, I said I was saying
like Armin was smoking a decent amount of copium in the beginning, but he definitely figured it out. He was right. He
Yeah,
knows
I
his
mean,
boy.
Armin's next to Erin's the smartest guy in the
Yeah,
show.
and I'm glad it's like that
Mhm.
because I declared myself a Jaegerist because I know
It's a perfect balance.
I trust Aaron.
They're a good balance for each other. I really, and
Yeah,
it's good. Yes, that we got that confirmation for Armin that Armin can still have faith in Aaron. It's unfortunate that he couldn't witness this moment.
And they did a good job of showing the boys back Aaron up when he was running to Zeke right before he got shot.
yeah.
So it was cool, like to see him kind of reunite in that little moment. Sorry, it's a little unrelated to
No,
this
you're fine. No,
specific
you're absolutely good.
part of the episode, but yeah, they ride or dies.
Yeah. And then
So
here
that's the first double cross.
That's the first double cross. So Aaron reaches out to Ymir and is like, let me use your power. I need your power to accomplish my goals. And she continues walking past him. And Zeke at the time was putting on his acting face and was just like, why, Aaron? Why would you do this to me?
Nani?
Well, we get the triple cross here. And Zeke had apparently, we don't know why the time moves like it does in this realm, wherever we are. But Zeke had been waiting for Aaron for, it seemed like millennia almost. And in that time, he was able to come up with this plan. He was able to renounce
the vow
of King Fritz and was able to free himself and control Ymir's power because now that he wasn't chained by it, he was able to use it since he is royal blood.
Yeah, she's apparently drawn to those with royal blood. She basically is praises them.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was like
kind of like were you about to say kind of like Ackerman's?
Yeah, like an Ackerman.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure.
I was curious if that was like the time that she spent there like broke her in that way, or that was like a consequence of like what she had done by like being the founding. She's the OG founding Titan, right?
What's the consequence that
she was the first?
Like she was like, it was like you get
royals?
this power, but this is the drawback that like that's what's waiting for you afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I guess it could be a combination of both.
We'll get into it a lot more. We will get into the backstory of the
I'm
Founding
excited for it.
Titan, and it's really great backstory of. I mean, all backstory here is incredible.
That was crazy when you first learn it in the first place. That like the actual history of the world,
right? By
like,
what's his face, the Tiber guy,
by Willie Tiber.
Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I more like what's in the basement.
Oh, true.
I feel like when you learn all that stuff, and you start to like when the world expands, so there's a different country that's like trying to basically like are assaulting or invading almost the paradise.
True. One thing I'll say about the time moving in the coordinate, the time scale, I just see it as like, you know how they say your life flashes before, like my life flashed before my eyes when death or whatever. The last time we saw Zeke in this moment in the coordinate, and he even said it, was when he was almost killed by Levi and she built his legs out of the sand or whatever. Yeah. I think that, it's just like, I see it the same thing. It's just, they're in it's like what, 25 seconds of real time, but their life is flashing before their eyes. Yeah.
I agree.
It didn't seem like he spent that much time there though, that time when he got his body rebuilt.
No, but he does, but it's maybe not as long as this moment. But he says, like, I don't even know how long I've been here. Like, how long has she been?
I'm pretty sure he uses
my legs.
The phrase like "time untold" this time. He's like, I've just been here. Basically, I have no idea.
Well, they showed his nails long, which I thought
I didn't catch that.
An interesting
his nails
detail
were really long, and
to imply that he's been there for a while.
His facial hair was way thicker. Yeah, his hair was longer. And that brings us to the end of the episode where he's like, Aaron, I'm gonna save you from our vile father. Grabs him by the head, and they clash heads, and we get that spark of electricity that we kind of see when Reiner touches Galliard. So this isn't a spoiler. We're gonna get some flashbacks here. We're gonna get some memories, basically, is what we're getting into.
We said it multiple times, but the fucking first half was insane. And then once we got into like this paths and stuff, like it felt like it just flew by. They were just throwing so much good information at us that like I wish this episode was like double the length that it was, because I just want to know what that stuff is so much. But we'll find out.
I think when we come out of,
I remember being upset. It ended and was like, what?
When we come out of these next couple episodes, I'm pretty sure we'll have a better idea of what coordinate is. And I just want to reiterate to everyone listening and watching that even though Alki and I have read, by no means do we understand what anything happened. Like, it was such a complicated story, and like the dimensions of every character and what everyone's role was is just so confusing. And again, sorry to say this for the millionth time, but reading month to month just didn't help. I was telling Kyle too.
I remember rereading those panels chapter like multiple times to try to understand what the heck I just read.
Yeah, I was telling
a lot of it's trying to remember what the heck happened before.
Yeah,
too, because you can't sit there and read like 5 chapters in one sitting just to recap. And the chapters are long; they're like 50 pages.
And especially here when they're all a lot of words.
There's a lot of words, yeah,
politics,
exactly.
But I was telling Kyle, kind of related to what you're saying, is before this episode is when I was reading the manga of Attack on Titan, I had read basically up to the chapter right before Eren gets his head blown off. I took like a few months off of reading to let the chapters build. I get to the point where Eren's
huge
head
mistake.
Yeah, I get to this point, and then I get to them teleporting to the coordinate, and I am like, am I even reading Attack on Titan right now? I'm like, what is happening? I just don't remember anything, and I didn't even register everything that was going on before that well either. So I was at a complete loss. I was like, this is probably when I was reading, I was like, I have no idea what's happening. I am not crazy about this anymore. But that was just because I just didn't understand it.
Didn't feel the impact because of all the time that went
exactly.
by.
And so this episode was incredible. Let's go around and do our ratings. We'll start as always with our rookie Kyle, and we'll go from there.
This is a 10 out of 10. I just can't imagine an episode like for the episodes that are out right now in the series. This is a 10 out of 10. Like I guess we'll maybe be able to compare it to episodes at the end of the season, but this is 10 out of 10. I don't know how, it just was start to finish. Every second was my eyes were fucking glued on the screen. I was having to remember to breathe. Like it was like ridiculous. It was one of the best episodes of Attack on Titan I've ever seen in my life.
Alki?
Only because of what you just said. We haven't seen the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I won't give it a 10 out of 10,
Okay.
but I would say 9 out of 10 for sure. It's the best episode of this. I think it's an overall best episode of season 4, part 1 and 2 combined.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Dave upstairs, I think this is the episode we've got so sorry. We've gotten the most information in this episode. It's like, it's just great seeing this, like learning about the past, Emir, all this stuff is great. Yeah. So I would say a 9 out of 10 because of what happened. Like I said, it covered so much content from the manga and it did a good job of actually covering anything. I don't think they glossed over any details really. It's they 9 out of 10, maybe even a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah. I was going to say my answer would easily be a 9 and it could easily be a 10. I'd have to wait to see these episodes come out. Like I could come back and watch this episode and still again be like, this is a 10
That's
out of 10. I mean, we get
a weak way to rate
all the twists that we get this episode from just like Pixis and Falco transforming into Titans, Eren getting his head blown off, the introduction of the coordinate and the founding Titan, like
the original double cross and Zeke's triple
and then
cross.
the triple cross. Like this, you can't ask for much more content in an episode of any kind of television.
Sacrifice, Falco's the Jaw Titan.
You get death,
dude. This episode was
action. Yeah, so I'll give it a 9.5 at that, and that was just the best episode by far. And these next couple episodes I was telling Kyle are going to be just I was telling Alki while Kyle stepped away for a second, and I reminded him where the story's going to be going in these next couple of episodes, and his face was priceless. He was like, these are going to be
it's insane. This is where the point where when I was reading I realized like how insane this story is. It's beyond just like an anime and manga. It has
good,
none
bad.
of the basic
good
tropes. Yeah. It's a deep story, man. It's like a real it reads and it watches like a real people show, like something like Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah, it does.
It has that sort of like wow factor.
Yeah,
it's really unique in all anime because obviously I love One Piece and all these other animes, and they get me hype and fired up, and they're inspiring and all this stuff. But you are still reminded by those gags or whatever that it's a cartoon. Like it's a cartoon. It's great. The plot's thick, but it's a cartoon. This is not. I don't even want to consider this like a cartoon at all.
This is one of the best TV shows.
Yeah, it's just a good show. It's not a good anime. It's just like a good show.
I agree. I just thought of this while you guys were talking about that this episode is like a perfect encapsulation of what Attack on Titan is. Like the first half like that gritty, like human level emotion of like these decisions and these things that they have to do, and like the level of loss that they experience is like what makes the show great.
Yeah, on a daily basis.
Yeah, but then the second half of the episode with now all this path and coordinate stuff, like I want to know so much about that too.
Yes.
So like it was just like a picture perfect episode. Like,
Yeah,
it was what I love about the show, and then also giving me what I want to know about the show, which and then love in the future.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That's what I
Even
couldn't
as-
get out. That's why I couldn't get out earlier. It's just like this the information we're about to learn is
Yeah.
stuff we couldn't even
Oh
think
no,
existed.
it was not.
You know what
it
I'm
was-
saying?
It wasn't even in like the universe that was right outside of the box of possibilities that I was thinking
no,
about.
yeah.
Like we're just somewhere completely different.
Yeah.
The world is not like, it's so funny because the world is black and white almost in the show, but it's 90% gray, and then there's some 80% gray, and like it's just different tones of gray, but the world is black and white here. It's just so dark, and just there's really rarely a moment, if ever, do these people ever have good memories. There's just
Yeah, nothing really good ever happens.
The
And
only
everything that's good is very fleeting. It's
Mhm.
always like like seeing someone again, or like maybe like a nice piece of bread, or like
Yeah.
for Levi like a clean kitchen. Like it's like little shit like that.
At
While
least a
everything else just takes an absolute dump.
Sasha
on you
gets a piece
27.
of sausage.
a raw potato,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Let's go."
at least in season 4, there's only like even 3 and 4, part 1 and 2, there's only 2 moments that stand out to me. Is when they arrive at the beach, which is even quickly ruined by Aaron just being like, the enemy is just right beyond.
Yeah, like a
Kill all
total
of them.
psycho.
Yeah.
And the second one is when they're all eating dinner right before they're all about to die from the Beast Titan. Like
Yeah,
these moments aren't even
ridiculous.
that great. So this show is incredible. If you've been watching with us, we hope you're enjoying it as much as we have. This is BingetownTV. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, the works. We got it all out there.
Insta.
Yeah.
Yeah, check us out on Insta, definitely.
We love covering anime. This has been a special treat for us here at Bingetown, and we'll catch you again next
This was
week.
a blast. That episode was great. It's
Yeah.
fun to do this in person.
And this
like
is fun. I think
Yeah,
this
it's
is
fun to do it in person. like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, the camera's
Yeah.
good.
Honestly, I kind of miss Commander Irwin. That's the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm just curious what he would be like in this battle.
I'll pour one out for that. 'cause
Yeah, I
miss
miss him too. I would have been sweet if he became a Titan.
He might be too OP though.
Like what
Like
would
he might have just had. He probably killed him off because it's like, this guy is gonna have
You
too
know
big
what's
of an
funny?
impact.
Last episode we talked about freaking what's her name? The Titan freak, the girl, the woman,
Hanji.
Hanji. No,
The
and we
Titan
totally
freak.
we totally forgot.
It's like, who are you talking about?
That
And we
actually
didn't-
made me realize that it was Hanji.
And we didn't even talk about. We didn't even her name or face did not even come across my mind within the last
No,
4 hours.
honestly, I
at all.
haven't thought about Levi since I just made that kitchen thing.
Yeah.
And, like, where's he? Like this.
What's gonna
He's
happen?
not even in the episode. And it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. The first non-Levi episode, that's a 10 out of 10.
Well, you were a 9.
Yeah,
Don't come in this
Yeah.
fucking boat.
Oh,
Don't
dude.
come in this boat of the OGs who love it. 10 out of 10. You're
All
gonna
right.
come back and be like, that was a 10 out of 10.
All right. Shinzo Sasagero.
Go.
Peace.